Hi guys, so I'm going to read Werewolf by Night number 32. So this was released in August of 1975 and is the first appearance of Moon Knight. So this will be in the 1970s Marvel playlist, and eventually I will make Werewolf by Night playlists and Moon Knight playlists, but that will take probably a very long time to do. But eventually I will do that, because I have to do at least 5 videos of it, and my schedule right now is it's going to take a while to read five of each of those comics. I think because they split off eventually too. But Werewolf by Night.
You haven't a chance against Moon Knight, monster. For the harder you fight, the quicker you die.
Can even a werewolf battle a man, clad in solid silver, and survive?
The tag's Russell, with a Jack in front of it. The kind of name that fits a normal 19-year-old dude living out of L.A. Not the kind of name you'd expect to find slapped on a guy who sprouted fangs, pour fur, and wolfish howls every time the moon ballooned full. Unless that guy happened to have a father who was cursed by an arcane book called Darkhold, and who inherited his father's curse on his 18th birthday.
Stanley presents Werewolf by Night.
Tough? I usually ain't. But when the full moon pokes its ugly puss into my life, I turn into the werewolf. And nobody messes with a dude dressed in fur, claws, and pure mean. So why didn't somebody tell that to the stalker called Moon Knight? Fast, brutal, and armed with everything to produce a scream. He wasn't wasting me, with no doubt about it. And every time I tried to slash back at the weirdo, my hand exploded in a fire labeled agony.
Writer Doug Monick. Artists Don Perlin and Howie Perlin. Letterer Ray Holloway. Colorist Phil Raich. Editor Len Wein.
Second night, the werewolf whimpered in pain. His hand was broken, shattered, and the blood he wanted to see so badly would be his own.
Get up, you mangy freak. Get up so that I can knock you back down again.
Even if his voice hadn't been muffled by a mask, the words still would have been Greek to the werewolf. But it was the tone of this Moon Knight's voice which enraged me. So I got up in a lunge. Had the werewolf been able to employ his right hand, perhaps he would have turned his foe's masked face into a red hash. And perhaps not. It was called a cestus, as in glove, worn by gladiators in the arena. A cestus is spiked. These spikes were silver. Silver as hell on a werewolf. I hit the filthy alley like an oak felled by silver lightning. But the lightning wouldn't quit.
I hate cowards who won. But even more, I hate cowards who fight only when they're cornered.
It was called a save-it kick, wrapped inside a boot with a silver-weighted toe. It figured.
Man, that guy's like a tornado on a rampage. I'm hip, but what's that other dude like? Lon Chaney and a mink?
You've had it, freak. You're halfway gone, and I haven't even started.
He was unsnapping something from a peg on his belt. Silver, of course, and shaped in a crescent. Sort of like the moon. But also like a silver razor blade. The werewolf howled. It wasn't right. The moon was supposed to give him strength, fill him with savagery, not stab him with glaring pain.
Drop, freak! Drop like the wounded beast you are!
Another save-it kick, this one from the erect position, and I fell into the requested drop. A pause, then, in which the Moon Knight silently gloated and stepped forward with the final blow. A pause in which the confused werewolf strained to think. Strained to remember how he'd come face to face his death at such close quarters. It had started the night before.
Translation last issue. Len.
When an innocent ski jaunt in Northern California had erupted into a blizzard of horror as the werewolf I'd almost murdered a cute 7-year-old girl named Buttons. Fortunately, my best friend, Buck Cohen, had other ideas. His heroics had distracted the werewolf enough to prevent the tragedy, but had also put himself into substitute position. When it was all over, the werewolf had left him lying in the snow, his motionless body shielding the hysterical Buttons. The moon beast then found an outcropping of rock, under which he hid from the raging blizzard, until dawn, when I clawed free. Half icicle and flirting with terminal frostbite, I trudged from the wolf's snowbound den, crunching the crisp snow in search of my clothes. It only took 3 hours to find where I had left them, bundled and cached under a log. So I shivered into them and prepared to wait for Buck. You see, I didn't remember the werewolf's little blood tussle with Buck. And since Buck was supposed to pick me up here...
Out of the way, man! Can't you see this is an emergency? Prepare yourself for immediate surgery.
After an hour of waiting, I begun to worry. Where was Buck?
Good Lord, nurse! This man is dying on the table! We need more blood! An emergency supply! Fast!
After 2 hours, I began hiking for the highway. Obviously, Buck wasn't going to make it.
I want the best available team of surgeons up in this room within the next 3 minutes. Is that clear, nurse?
Yes, doctor. Right away.
Returning to the ski lodge would have blown my phony story about leaving for work the night before, so I hitched a ride.
Some of the deepest lacerations I've ever seen. Yes, apparently inflicted by some sort of animal. Better append the report with a note for post-surgical rabies treatment. God providing, the patient lives.
With the worst possible driver under the circumstances.
Energy, I tell him. That's where all your money's hiding these days. Why, the Texans and the Arabs are rolling in the green, while the rest of us poor slobs feel the crunch. Sure is a nice day, though, ain't it? What's the matter, kid? Some cat get a taste for your tongue? Cardiograph's dormant, doctor! His heart stopped! Nurse, get the cardiovascular shock unit! Quickly!
It was mid-afternoon by the time I finally reached my stepfather's Westwood home.
All right now! Activate it! Maximum voltage!
And greeted his astonished face.
Jack, are you all right, son?
Sure, Dad. As all right as I ever am the morning after a full moon. Why? Where's Lisa?
That's it, then. We might as well face it. There's nothing more we can do. You mean you don't remember, son?
I sensed it, and the doors began to open, and what I've always dreaded. Remember what? What?
Lisa's down at Westwood Hospital. Jack, Topaz called.
said your friend Buck was hurt. Was mauled. He might not pull through, Jack.
The soft words slammed at me, hit me like 1,000 crushing mountains. But my only reaction was numbness, disbelief. Mauled?
Easy, Jack. Just take it easy, son.
Easy? I might have killed my best friend, and you want me to take it easy?
Please, Jack, you got to.
Out of my way. If Buck's dead, that's it. The werewolf's finished, and I mean it.
I know, son. I know.
No, Jack. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you're sorry? I want to see Buck.
There isn't much to see, Jack.
You mean he's...
That's right, Buttons. Just go to sleep, darling. No, Jack. Not quite dead. But he's close to it. He's in a coma. And the doctors aren't sure he'll come out of it. They say they've done all they can. That now it's just a matter of time, Jack. All we can do is hope. And wait.
Wait.
Wait for what? For the stinking moon again?
Stop it, Jack. Please. Control yourself. For my sake. If you don't care about yourself, I can't stand anymore, Jack. Not now.
All right, Topaz. I'm cool. I'm cool now.
Your hand, Jack. It might be broken. We better get a doctor to look at it.
Forget the lousy hand. It's fine.
Look, kids. This is trying for all of us. Why don't you go home and get some rest? I can stay here. Besides, I don't want to wake Buttons, and that she's finally fallen asleep. You go too, Lissa. You've been down here a long time now. I'll call the minute there's any change. All right, Elaine. But if you need someone to look after Buttons... I'll call, Lissa. Now go on home and rest.
I think Elaine's right, sis. Maybe we better go. I've got Dad's car outside.
Jack?
I didn't like the tone Topaz spun around her voice, like a cocoon trying to hide something ugly inside. But it didn't work. I could smell what was coming.
Under the circumstances, we thought it might be best if Lissa stayed with me tonight, at my room, to keep our minds off Buck, and also because, well...
I didn't like the scent of it either. Go on, Topaz. Say it. Because I got the moon cooties, and you don't want to be around when I sprout fangs again. Well, I don't blame you. I'd stay away from me if I could. So why should you two stick with me? And that was my exit. As petulant as a crybaby, feeling sorry for its own tears. Out in the car, I felt ashamed. I also felt my hand. It was blazing now. Probably broken. Maybe shattered. At least the pain dulled my anger. And what was a broken paw compared to a dying man? Or to the way I treated Lissa and Topaz. My stepfather, for that matter. There was still a half hour till dark. Enough time to return the car and apologize to him before running away from the moon. My right hand was as stiff as a catcher's mitt and felt almost as big, so I used my left. But the key had barely even touched the lock when the door swung open, very slowly. Dad? It was dark in the house. I didn't like that.
In the den, Jack. There's someone here to see you.
Northrop again? Or someone else from the cops? I couldn't afford to be questioned this close to the moon. Still, I've never been celibate when it comes to curiosity. So I entered, smacking the weirdo. My stepfather looked worried behind him.
Hello, Russell. They told me to announce myself as the Moon Knight. Pretty stupid name, but it'll do as far as you're concerned.
Yeah? And how am I concerned? Who are you? Besides a lunar crusader rabbit. His voice was muffled under the silver gauze, which covered his face like ectoplasm. That was something else I didn't like.
Let's say I'm a working man, Russell, out to do my job and collect my bread. This particular job started down in the waterfront section. Pretty sleazy place. Lots of rats. The stink of filthy brine. And rotting, sagging warehouses. But one of those warehouses is a lot like that book you're not supposed to judge by its cover. Because inside, it ain't rotting or sagging. And the only stink is the smell of money. Lots of money. I went there on a tip and found out it was a setup. So you're Mark Spector. I'm Spector. Who are you? We'll get to that in time, Mr. Spector. Right now I find your dossier immensely interesting. Soldier of fortune, mercenary, veteran of 3 African wars, 5 South American revolutions, brief flirtation with the CIA, weapons expert, versatile practitioner of virtually all the martial arts, ex-prize fighter, Marine commando for 8 years prior to beating a lieutenant within an inch of his life, etc. So your research department is hot stuff. So what? I was told there'd be money down here. What do I do to get it? I admire your directness, Mr. Spector, and shall endeavor to emulate it. First, we want you to open that compartment now rising from the table. Then don the rather unique costume you will find inside it, and utilize every weapon accompanying that costume, as well as your inherent abilities, to capture and deliver to us a werewolf named Jack Russell. Upon delivery, you will receive this: $10,000. That's the story, Russell. Me, I don't believe in werewolves, but the committee's got 10 grand that does, so who am I to argue?
The committee again. I thought their tents had been folded up long ago.
So you've got a choice, Russell. Either you come with me, the easy way, or I deliver the bruised goods.
My head was swimming through queasy nausea as he stalked forward. Was it the pain in my hand, or had the moon festered into a darkening sky? Then, as I realized there was no way I'd be able to defend myself, my stepfather decided the issue.
Run, Jack! I'll hold him as long as I can!
I hesitated, ripped with indecision, then felt the first shooting flood of the change, and split at a fast scramble.
Hurry, Jack! He's too strong! Let go! You don't have to get hurt, you stupid son of a...
Outside, the Moon Knight's words were drowned by a sound from the roof. A helicopter? I didn't care. The agony wouldn't let me. It forced me into a jagged run, stumbling, staggering, shoving the blur of faces away from me.
What the...
Until I sprawled into the squalor of an alley and rose with a snarl. As the werewolf. Behind me, The sound of the helicopter grew louder as it lifted off the roof and swung forward in pursuit.
That's our man up ahead, Frenchie. And he's just made me a believer in werewolves.
Fear and panic scattered around the werewolf. For once, he didn't notice the easy prey. Who'd blame him? His slit eyes were glued to the strange flying thing which chased him, and the weird man thing sliding down from its belly. The Moon Knight's pursuit clinched the fact that my stepfather had been injured. But of course the werewolf wasn't even aware of Philip Russell's existence. And besides, he had other things on his mind. Like the Moon Knight's silver-plated boot. The sound faded. The helicopter left. And the werewolf got wasted. Which brought us back to the present. Moon Knight gloated as he slowly closed for the end. My hand blistering with pain. And my foe's hand studded with silver spikes. I decided never to feel those spikes again. I decided to slash. I decided to slay.
You stupid mangly beast! The committee wants you alive, but if you're gonna force me to kill you, they'll settle for what they can get.
My decisions were overruled.
What's the matter with us? Why are we standing here gawking at them? They could turn on us at any moment. Kill us all. I'm going to call the police.
Oh, what? Fighting or what? Look, you'll have to calm down. Speak more slowly. And you don't have to shout either. Yeah, that's better. What? Are you sure? Where? Yeah? We'll send a car, thanks. Sounds like Northrop. Wasn't so crazy after all.
How's that, Eddie?
Some comic book weirdo is slugging it out with a werewolf on the street corner in Westwood.
A werewolf? It does sound like Northrop's bag. Why don't you call him in on it?
Can't. It's Vic's vacation time. And right now he must be about 1,000 miles away. And 50,000 feet up.
Will you be the planning in Haiti, Mr. Northup?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will.
You bet I will. Got business there. For instance, the Silver Bullet, marked with the name of Raymond Coker. But how did you know?
The sealer of the 1,000 years knows all the dark secrets of the soul. My powers of voodoo, and the feelings of life from the mask. These are the things which tell me you are cursed by the mark of the man-beast.
Yes, that's true. I was a werewolf, but I've been cured.
In issue number 21, Lycanthropic Lean.
Gisala, I've come to ask your help in a different matter. Death, Gisala. Death which is killed.
Then you speak of Subvembi. You speak of that which even Gisala cannot control. You have come here for nothing. Your room is very nice, Topaz. Thank you, Lissa. But we both know it's not the room which is on our minds. You're right, Topaz. It's not bad enough that Buck's in the hospital, almost dead. But there has to be another full moon tonight. I can't help thinking about it. Worrying about what's happening to Jack. Worrying won't help anything, Lissa. Jack's been through it before. He knows how to take care of himself. I'm sure everything's fine. Oh, Topaz, do you really think...
Good evening, mademoiselles. The name is Frenchy. I must know which of you is Jack Russell's charming sister. Oh, you must both accompany me in the ride, oui. I slashed, still favoring my broken hand, and growled in fury as he deftly evaded my raking talons.
What were the places of police? What do we pay taxes for?
He produced a new weapon now. It looked like a truncheon, and it was definitely silver.
Listen, you hairy freak. We can keep this up all night, or you can make it easy. And just drop.
Maybe it was his words, and maybe the punch. But either way, the last straw had fallen. And the werewolf exploded, berserk, blasting the Moon Knight with everything he had. And with my right hand, pain sliced through me like rusty barbed wire, laced to a buzzsaw. It filled me. I couldn't see, couldn't move. Could do nothing but feel the pain and whine.
They're both down. What a gip. It's ending in a draw.
But the slob was wrong, and I felt it.
Now, beast, as my buddy Frenchy might say, touché. And speak of the devil. Good boy, Frenchy. You're just in time. 'Cause the mangy puss here is down for good.
Oh my god! Topaz! Jack's down there! He's down there, Topaz! And he's getting killed!
I said you were down, freak face. And I wasn't talking for my health.
Nor mine. Whatever was left of it. I felt myself lifted and dragged, my shattered hand scraping across the abrasive concrete, shooting new sparks of fire through my veins, hastening the already swift fade of consciousness. Dimly, I heard the shriek of sirens and squealing tires. It seemed that if the Moon Knight didn't take me, there'd be others who would.
Out of the way, fans. Payday's just around the corner. And I'd rather kill this hairy monster than let those cops cut me off my bread.
Something hot and wet gurgled in the werewolf's throat, over his lips. Then my mind oozed into blackness.
Next, the werewolf unleashed, more savage than ever before. A shocking twist, the cages of the committee, and more, in the conclusion called Wolf Beast Moon Knight.
So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm hoping maybe I could read Punisher's first appearance soon. But I'm not sure when, because I gotta make room for the schedule for it. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just let me know in the comments. And I'll tell you the date I can do the requests by. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.